Welcome back here to Up North at 4. Jeff and I joined now by Mike and Marie, a couple of folks from Ski for Light, which is an awesome program. I mean, I don't know any other way to put this. Essentially, you folks help people with visual impairments to cross-country ski. And how does that come together? I guess, how does this all work? I'm going to ask you, Mike.
Okay. Well, start out with Ski for Light as an organization, and we teach blind and mobility handicap cross-country skiing. And we hold a one-week event every year to teach. And during the week, we are teaching and improving the skills of experienced skiers. And then on the last day of the week, on Saturday, we hold a race rally.
Okay.
In other words, the faster skiers, ones that want to go a longer distance, a 10K distance, that is a race, that is a timed race. The rally is for the 5K skiers.
Okay.
The ones that go a shorter distance, 5K, of course. And then they guess how long it will take them to do it.
Oh, okay.
And whoever comes closest to the time they guess wins the race.
So there's like a bit of a strategy there, a little bit, kind of knowing your like limitations. Okay.
No watches though.
No watches.
No
watches. No idea.
And you know, I can only imagine the amount of how proud they are at the end of this race, right? It comes together, their timing is right, but just to compete at that level, to do that outside, what feedback do you get from that?
It's very much of a partnership. I mean, there's the guide, and then there's the athlete, or what we call our skier. And it's very much of a team effort. We work together. There are two tracks. So the skier is in one track and the guide is in the next track. Okay. And there's a lot of conversation, a lot of talking, obviously, as we work through the whole week and the event and the race together. So it's a real team effort. It's a combination of both skill level and just working together.
Yeah, I would imagine. So you said it's a whole week of practices, training, I guess, if you will. I would assume a lot of that during the week is just kind of figuring out how are we going to communicate, how much help does a skier need. How much does that help, do you think, come the big event on Saturday, just having that extra 5, 4, 6 days, whatever it might be, of skiing together?
Well, it's huge, you know, as far as getting to know your skier and getting to know how you're going to rate a hill that's coming up, how you're going to rate a turn that is coming up, you know, how much in advance they want that called out, you know, and through the whole week, they're constantly thanking the guide.
Yeah.
Because for most of them, this is the only time they get out on skis during the winter, and we got a huge contingent that comes up from Texas every year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was just 1 or 2 came, and then
from Texas. Yeah.
I don't think they do a lot of skiing in Texas.
No, we don't.
No, so this is their only time.
Those big mountains there.
You bet. And another thing they say, this is the one time they're free. They're moving without somebody.
I was going to say, there has to be an incredible emotional attachment to this between the guide and the skier. So are you still trying to bring in more skiers? Is it growing every year?
We try to get a certain percentage of first-time skiers because that keeps our, just the evolution of the event and keeps everybody, just keeps it moving forward. When we are always trying to find new guides. Actually, we need some guides for this year's event. Our event in 2023, the winter of 2023, is in Colorado. Okay. So we're looking for guides this year. You can still even apply for this year.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned, too, there's varying experience levels here. So some people, like you mentioned, who have never even been on skis, versus I'm guessing some people have been on skis many times.
Like ice skates.
Yeah, ice skates is not my thing. But how do you balance that, though, to kind of figure out what sort of help people need and just making sure that they can have as much fun and learn as much as they can during that week?
Well, in the application process, part of that is listing or filling out what their experience level is and what level of athleticism they are. And like we have skiers of varying level of experience and abilities, we also have guides of varying levels. You know, we have a skier that comes. He's turning 102 this year.
Yeah, he's turning 102.
Yeah, he's turning 102 this year.
Oh, we need to do a story on him. We need to do a story on him.
He's still out there, still skiing.
Yeah,
exactly.
he's still skiing.
Oh my gosh.
So you might imagine he doesn't go real fast, but and then we have skiers that ski in Olympics. So we have all levels, and so we we're looking for guides on both ends, guides that are willing to go slow and teach, and guides that are fit and willing to move right along with a fast skier.
Absolutely.
Love what you're doing.
Yeah, and you mentioned a little bit, the event this year is in Colorado, but the event next year will be right in our backyard.
It's in Rhinelander, yeah.
It is going to be in Rhinelander,
Yep.
and I want to talk more about this, but first, we got to take a quick break, so we'll do that. Stick with us. We'll be right back on Up North FM. Welcome back to Up North and at 4. Mike and Marie still hanging out with us from Ski for Light. And we had mentioned it earlier in the show. You guys, the event this coming winter is going to be in Colorado. But then if we flip ahead on the calendar, you're going to be right here in Rhinelander.
Yes.
And before the show, Mike, you had mentioned to me, you said you started with Ski for Light back in 2015,
Correct.
Give or take. And ever since then, you've been sort of fighting for this to come to Rhinelander, and now that is finally happening. What was that process like to kind of bring it here to the Northwoods?
Well, you can about imagine there's going to be 250 between skiers and guides. There's a lot of logistics to figure out, and it started out with coming up with the trails and the lodging and everything, and I did a lot of traveling. I was up traveling all over the UP. I was traveling around Western Michigan, stuff like that. And come to find out, right in my back door was a place to have it. And the thing that, the piece that came together was this. I gave a presentation in front of the city council and asked permission to use the fairways out the golf course because our 5K skiers don't ski quite as aggressively. And so on the fairways, that's not as aggressive. And so that was the final piece I put together. And it also goes back to a promise that I made at the first Ski for Light I was at to get more guides. And this is ski heaven here, cross-country ski heaven here, and a lot of cross-country skiers here, and hopefully it results in more guides.
Yeah, well, I think our director, Paul, has some video we can put behind us. And here we are. This is one of the events, which is recently.
Yeah, this is an event in Shanty Creek, Michigan.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So look how excited everybody is. They're ready to go. And this is, again, it goes from Sunday to Sunday, right? It's a whole week of events
Right.
that go on. And this is their lodging, of course. So there's a lot that goes into this, and it's not just something that happens overnight. You guys put a lot of time and effort into it, I can tell.
Yeah.
And it's coming to Rhinelander, Nate.
I know. I mean, you had mentioned it, though. It's over a year away, and the planning has already begun. I would assume that has to happen no matter where it is, whether it's Rhinelander, Colorado, what have you. So is it just a matter of finding the space, finding the guides? What all goes into that? I'm just out of curiosity.
We have a request for proposal process where most of it's just, we're a bunch of skiers, first of all, and a lot of our group internally just mentions, it would be great to bring it to Anchorage, Alaska. We had a guide from Anchorage, Alaska. Let's try going to Anchorage, Alaska. And then we kind of put the effort and start looking into places there, because it is definitely easier when we have somebody boots on the ground like Mike in a location to try to feel like we can branch out and try someplace new. I actually live in the location where it's going to be this year.
Okay.
In 2023.
Yeah.
So it's always great to have that. And then we just look at the hotel, the transportation, the skiing. The skiing is front and foremost.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
The cross-country skiing.
Absolutely. And this program, I mean, this is just, it's so cool. And when it was brought to my attention, I was like, I love this. This is so much fun.
Do you ski?
Yeah.
I don't ski, but I don't know.
He's like, we have to do this. I ski.
Jeff might need to. In the meantime, though, I really appreciate all the work you guys do, and I appreciate you guys coming on the show. In the meantime, we got to take another break. We'll be right back on Up North at 4.